Hello everybody, it's Charlotte. Welcome back to the vlog. Happy March, y'all. Welcome to my monthly reset vlog. We are resetting for March and time for the obligatory "I cannot believe how fast the time is going" statement. But I cannot believe how fast the time is going. It is seriously so unbelievable to me that it is March of 2023 already. Like, this year just started and somehow we're already 3 months in. Someone explained it to me. It's not making sense. But that is the exact point of this little reset vlog, is to get ready and reset for a brand new month, tackling all of the things that a brand new month brings. I've been doing these monthly reset vlogs since the summer, and they are honestly my favorite videos on the planet to film. Like, they are so cathartic and they are so helpful for me to kind of just get ready, get reset, clean up my space, clean up my mind, kind of get myself on track for a new month. So if you guys are new here, my name is Charlotte. I'm a senior at the University of Michigan. I make a lot of college lifestyle and productivity content. I am in my very final semester of college, so I'm kind of getting all of my college content in while I can and kind of slowly transitioning into post-grad lifestyle content. So if any of that sounds up your alley, tune in, subscribe to the channel, join the family. We'd love to have you. We're really just all about good vibes and feeling like our best selves over here. So welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. If you guys have been here before, you've seen any of my monthly reset vlogs in the past, you kind of know how this goes. It's kind of split up into two segments of the video. First off, we do my physical reset, which you guys have already seen a little bit of. We did kind of cleaning up my room, cleaning up the apartment. I threw my sheets in the wash, all of that kind of thing. So I still have a few more things in that department that I want to get done. And then the second half of the video is my mental reset. That's where we go in, we kind of set my goals for a brand new month. We go over the books that I want to read. We set up my Notion, my bullet journal, and all that good stuff. That is sort of like the mental, intellectual, spiritual reset. And the first part of the video is definitely more of the physical body, room, cleanliness vibes reset. And I'm a very strong believer that each influences the other. So that's why I like to do both in these reset vlogs. So you guys already saw I threw my sheets and my comforter in the wash. Those are currently in the dryer right now. They have a little bit of time left over. I want to deep clean this place. Spring cleaning, when I was a kid, I never understood spring cleaning, but I am deep into spring cleaning now. So let's deep clean this apartment and get started with the physical reset portion of the video. let's move into the mental reset portion of this video. The first thing we're gonna do is go through my goals for February, see how we did, see what progress we made, if any, and kind of go from there. So I'm in my little Notion here, and we're just gonna scroll down to when I get to my February personal goals. So we had 3 overarching goals for February. They were to live intentionally, to prioritize my mental health, and to plan ahead to reduce my stress levels. I would say overall I did pretty well on all 3 of these goals. I have little like measurable kind of action steps under each goal to kind of help me get to the like end goal, like the completion of each goal. So for live intentionally, I wanted to journal every morning, every night, and not do any mindless scrolling on social media. I definitely didn't journal every morning and every single night. I did journal at some point every single day. You guys know I use the Finch app for all of my journaling, and I was on Finch every single day this month, and I did some sort of goal setting or like daily to-do list or like daily affirmation or something like that every day. So I think I did do those every day, but I definitely didn't do them every morning or every night. At the very beginning of the month, I was really good about not doing any mindless scrolling, but towards the middle and end of the month, I was definitely using social media as a like stress coping mechanism. February was a very stressful month here in the state of Michigan. If you guys didn't hear, there was a school shooting at Michigan State University, which is very close to my campus. So that was really scary, really stressful, very tragic situation. It really affected me pretty strongly. I think it really kind of affected everybody here, just in the state of Michigan and around the country. So I was definitely using social media as kind of like an escape from the stress and fear surrounding that. That kind of brings us into my second goal discussion. So the second goal was to prioritize my mental health during February. I definitely did do this. I made a lot of good steps during February. I think it was interesting because a lot of the good progress that I made came out of some pretty bad situations. So around the middle of February, I signed up to start seeing a therapist, and I've seen my therapist twice. It has been so helpful. Mental health is obviously one of my really big priorities. I think it's so important. I think it is so helpful to prioritize it and like actively take care of your mental health the way that we take care of our physical health. So I was really proud of how I put my mental health at the forefront during February. Some of the action steps that I had listed out for myself at the beginning of the month were to do my daily affirmations, keep a clean space, read 3 books, and work out in the mornings 3 times per week. Again, these things kind of took a back seat in the middle of the month when everything kind of went off the rails. So I definitely didn't do all of these things, but I tried my best to do what I could. I would say I probably did the best on my daily affirmations, and I probably did the worst on reading 3 books. Keeping a clean space and doing my morning workout 3 times a week, I kind of was like right in the middle range for those. And then finally, I wanted to plan ahead to reduce my stress levels by applying to 5 jobs, getting assignments done at 24 hours early, content planning out my Instagram and my TikTok videos, and meal planning. Yeah, I didn't do a single one of these. This was probably my least prioritized goal. Like this was goal number 3 out of 3. So it definitely took a backseat to the other 2. And then once my stress levels kind of increased and everything kind of in the world was happening, again, like these really took a backseat. I really didn't prioritize any of these things, so I didn't get any of them done. Overall, February was a really interesting month for me. I really tried very hard to make it a good month, and it was for the beginning, like half of the month, and then the back half of the month was really, really rough. But I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Like I mentioned, I'm taking active steps to make sure that March and the rest of the year are better. You guys know, if you saw my February reset vlog, that January was also a very rough month for me. So I figured if you have one rough month, then it's kind of just a fluke. Things didn't go your way. But if it's 2 in a row, then it's kind of like you might need to make some adjustments. So I'm really proud of myself that I did kind of make those adjustments. I started seeing my therapist, and I'm feeling a lot better. So I'm very hopeful for March. I think March is going to be an improved month for sure. So speaking of March, let's head into my Notion on my computer and update the spreads and the pictures for March. This is something new that I've started doing this year. I want to kind of update my Notion with the months the same way that I update my bullet journal. So we're going to update the Notion, make it look very aesthetic and cute to match March. March, we're going with a very green theme, obviously. I'm wearing my little green sweater. So we'll do that quickly, and then I will set my goals for March the same way we did for February and go from there.
So give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you would do anything that I want. So keep us awake till the dawn. Ooh, baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me.
Okay, the March Notion page is all set up, you guys. I love it. I love now that I'm like adjusting my Notion page to fit each month. Like, it just makes so much sense to me that I'm wondering why I didn't do it before. But we went for a very like green, springy neutrals sort of theme for March, obviously. For all of the pictures in my banner and just like featured on the page, I just found on Pinterest, and then I created my banner in Canva. So up at the top, we just have this very pretty banner that says March 2023. For my little emoji, I picked this little like fern plant sprig. I think so cute. You guys know I love my plants. I'm obsessed with green. It just makes me so happy. I also updated the little bullet points for my daily habits to be all green emojis. I did this for February. I made them all pink emojis. Now for March, I'm making them all green. And we just have these very aesthetic, cute little pictures. One of a girl on a bike. One is of a little like coffee on a little like kitchen table with a like eucalyptus leaf, it looks like, in a vase. Very cute, very neutral. And then the third one is this little coffee shop with some flowers. Just so cute. That's like the aesthetic I'm trying to curate for March, is just like bright, bring on spring, kind of also keeping along with the neutrals though. I feel like my March theme is just a bit of a like brighter version of my January theme. Okay, let's move on to my March personal goals. That's what we're all here for, the goal setting portion. So I'm doing my March goals the same way I did my February goals. We have 3 sort of more broad kind of umbrella goals. And then within those 3 goals, we have kind of like the mini goals that are roadmaps, like the stepping stones for how I'm going to achieve the broader overarching goals for the month. So I guess the broader ones are more like intentions for the month, and the ones, the like sub bullets, are kind of the goals to help me achieve that monthly intention. So first up, we have be the driver, not the passenger. This is kind of just another way to phrase like live intentionally, but I really have been feeling like, honestly, since probably December, I guess, that I've kind of just been going through the motions. I'm not really living up to my fullest potential, if that makes sense. Like, I'm kind of allowing life to happen to me rather than like living my life intentionally. So I want to change that. No more of that. That's done. Thank you. So like, I know all of the things on here I'm fully capable of doing, and I know that I want to be doing them. Like, I feel better when I do these things, but sometimes I just let myself get away with not doing the things that I know I want to do because they're hard. But something that I've kind of come to realize over the second half of February is that like your mental health and becoming the person you want to become and creating the life that you want to live takes work. It takes hard work. No one's going to make you do it but you. You really need to make yourself, you're the only one that's going to make yourself do the things that you want to do. Like, especially in college, especially now that I'm living off campus and I'm about to graduate, like, I really need to be like my number one supporter, and I really need to be there enough for myself to make myself do the hard things. So that's kind of what I mean by be the driver, not the passenger. Like, just because something's hard doesn't mean that it should be avoided. It should be tackled head on. And I acknowledge that sometimes like I don't want to get out of bed and I don't want to go down to the gym, but I always, every single time without fail, I feel better when I do. So I need to be the one to make myself get up and do that, if that kind of makes sense. That's sort of the overarching theme of this goal, this intention. First up, I want to work out 3 times a week. I think this is very attainable, especially with my schedule being the way it is. I have a very late start to my days on Mondays, Wednesdays, and every other Friday, which is way too complicated to explain. The second thing that I need to do, no phone or computer in bed. I got really, really lax about this in February. I gave myself a lot of grace for it and a lot of space to kind of slack off on this goal. I would bring my computer into bed and I would just watch TV until I fell asleep because I was really stressed and I was really anxious about a lot of things that were out of my control. That again, like felt to me like taking the easy way out. I'm like, for the first week after everything that happened at MSU, I really could not be alone with my thoughts. And I cope using like television. That is my number one, like even ever since I was little, like I go like watch a show is my thing. So I allowed myself to do that. That was my way of like taking care of myself. But at this point, it's not taking care of myself anymore. It's just allowing myself to continue a bad habit that I tried really, really hard to break over the summer and did a really good job breaking over the summer. And I feel like I'm letting myself slip back into the habit of like having my phone in bed and scrolling on social media in bed and like watching TV to fall asleep rather than reading. And I just know that that's not good for me, and I don't feel good when I do that. I don't sleep as well. I don't feel as rested in the mornings. It's just never, like, I never feel my best when I'm doing those things. So I really want to stop doing those things in March. I really want to have no phone, no computer in bed, charge them both over here. There's no reason that they should ever be over there. Point blank, like that's it. Next, a pretty classic goal is to read 3 books. We'll go over my book segment in just a minute. You guys will get the lowdown on the books that I read or didn't read in February. And we'll go over the books that I hope to read in March. I read 3 books in January, so I know I can do it. I love reading, but because I was watching TV at night instead of reading before bed, I really didn't read like at all. So we're getting back on the reading train, and that leads us into the 4th little bullet point for this monthly intention, which is to journal and read at night. What I meant by that is basically to kind of help establish that night routine, which is always kind of like the overarching goal of the year. I want to fill out like my daily highlight for the day, my daily gratitude, like recap the day sort of in my little bullet journal, which we'll go over very soon. Kind of like put the phone away, put the computer away, journal a little bit in my journal, and then go read until I fall asleep. That's kind of what that little bullet point means. Okay, second up, my second intention for the month is to be a big girl. I put this in quotes because it's kind of like a little inside joke I feel like that I have with you guys, where I always kind of refer to like life after college as like a big girl life, where like I'm getting a full-time job. I call it like a big girl job. So that is kind of the like reasoning behind this intention. I really want to like start being a big girl as soon as I can, so it's not as jarring after I graduate and really have to like move into the real world. The first sub bullet point I just carried straight over from February. I want to apply to 5 jobs, and I want to be really serious about this month, because every month that I let go by where I don't apply for jobs, the more stressed I get that I'm not going to have a job after I graduate. So note to self, I know that I'm going to be watching this video at some point during March to go back and see what my goals were. Apply to jobs. Next up, for being a big girl, I want to ask for 3 professional references. I think this will really help with the like applying to jobs situation. I also want to contribute $300 to my Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account. I don't usually talk a lot about money and finances on here just because I don't feel qualified, and I'm still kind of figuring out like how comfortable I am talking about like my income and how much money I make. I'm still figuring out if I'm comfortable kind of talking about that on here. But I know one of my goals for the year, one of my financial goals for the year, was to max out my retirement account and contribute as much as possible to that retirement account. So the way that I want to do that is by contributing little by little each month into that account. And then finally, this one I feel like could go for be a big girl or be the driver, not the passenger, but I want to do work and assignments early, have them done early. This is another one that I say every month. I'm like, oh, haha, like I never do this. I don't know if I'll be able to get this done this month. Like, cut the BS, honestly. Like, just do your work, get it done early. It'll save me stress in the long run. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I don't know what I'm holding out for. It's really kind of a lame excuse at this point. Like, just do your work on time. Okay, and then my final little like overarching intention for the month has like fewer bullet points. It's less of a roadmap for the month and more of just kind of something I want to keep in my mind. I would like to practice mindfulness this month, and I want to do that by like finding joy and gratitude in every day. I think I mentioned I want to do my daily highlight here in my bullet journal, kind of just going over like finding the good, finding the joy in every day. And then going along with that, I want to be okay saying no. This one is a big thing for me. I'm such a people pleaser. I love to just make everyone around me as happy as possible. And sometimes that just comes at the expense of my own happiness, mental health, how comfortable I am with a situation. So I really want to just be okay with setting boundaries, saying no to something that I want to say no to, whether it's plans that I don't want to go to or whatever, fill in the blank. I want to feel okay saying no and kind of setting those personal boundaries. So those are my overarching goals for March. I feel like kind of the overarching intention behind all 3 goals is to kind of like level up, really just like stop going through the motions and take the reins of my life. I feel like I'm ready to kind of take the next step to evolve into the woman, the big girl that I'm meant to be. And I don't know, maybe I'm being overly ambitious, but like March just feels like it's gonna be that month for me. Quite honestly, March is usually a terrible month for me, but January and February were terrible enough that I'm just not gonna allow March to be a bad month. But going back to my first intention, one of my goals was to read 3 books. It's now time to move on to one of my favorite segments of the vlog. We are going to talk about the books that I did and didn't read in February and talk about my March book wish list and the books that I want to read in March. So we're going to head over to my designated book discussion area and chat about some books. Okay, so for books, in February, I may have bitten off a little more than I could chew. I wanted to read 3 books in February, and when I tell you I have never failed quite as miserably at my book goal as I did in February, I mean it, y'all. I didn't even complete one single book in February. So I have been in the middle of reading this book, Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen, for the entire month. I'm only about halfway through. I really do like it. I'm just having a really hard time like getting excited to read it. Like when I am reading it, it's engaging. I like it. I think the story is interesting, but I'm not like dying to know what happens next, I guess. So I'd like to finish this at some point and count it as a February book, but again, I'm having a hard time for whatever reason. Here is the inside flap if you're curious what this book is about. But in February, I had also hoped to read 2 other books. I actually bought a couple of books specifically for February and like Valentine's Day, so I kind of missed the boat. These are the 2 other books that I plan to read in February that I'm hoping I can just speed read while I'm on spring break. First up, we have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Here's the back cover if you want to pause and read it. A romance novel. I've heard really good things, so I really want to read this. I might try to just like read this while I'm in the middle of Other Birds to kind of like get me back in the like reading spirit, because I've heard that this is like a really quick, easy read. Like it doesn't take very much time or brain power to read it. The other book that I wanted to read in February that I didn't get a chance to is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. This is the sequel to that book right there, Things We Never Got Over, also by Lucy Score. Here's the back if you want to pause and read what it's about. I really loved the first book in the series for this book, and I really wanted to read this in February. It got delivered on February 22nd, so I really haven't even had it that long, but she's thick. I haven't had a chance to read her. It'll probably take me a little while to read this one. You guys know I'm pretty particular about the months that I read my books in, so I'm really honestly kind of sad that I didn't get to read these during February because they're so February like themed. Like they're pink and romancy and cute and perfect for Valentine's Day, and I really just bungled it. Like I mentioned, I am currently on spring break, so I'm hoping that at some point today and tomorrow I can just like plow through these books and we'll still like count it for February, but the chances of that happening are like slim to none. But we'll see. For March, I do have a couple of books in mind, but honestly, the good thing is that both of the books that I'm thinking of for March would also work well for April. So if I did kind of like spend March reading these 2 books, that would be okay, because then I can just push these back to April. But we'll see. Maybe March will be the month for me where I really just read a ton. Probably not, but again, who knows? Okay, first up we have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the same author as The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo that I read back in November. Very good. I'm actually really excited to read this book. The back cover if you want to pause and read it. And then the other book I wanted to read, I've wanted to read this for such a long time, but I've been waiting for the paperback copy to come out, and honestly, I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't heard anything about like the soft paperback copy coming out, and I've been wanting to read this since 2022, so figured at this point I would just bite the bullet and buy the hard copy. This is All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. Here's the inside flap if you guys want to read what it's about. This one is like a murder mystery slash like cold case mystery thriller sort of vibe, which y'all know if you were here back in the fall, I really kind of got into that style of book back in like spooky season, like October, November era. So it's kind of a jumbled up mess, and my books and like the times that I'm reading them are really not lining up for me right now. There's literally no reason that the books I want to read in March feel like March. They just do to me for some reason. I wish I could explain it better than that. So those are all the books that I hoped to read but didn't actually read in February, and all the books that I hope to read in March. As always, if you guys have any book suggestions, or if you are reading or have read any of the same books that I'm reading or going to read or have read, comment down below and we can do a little book club. I love chatting about books. It's one of my favorite things ever. And you guys seem to really enjoy this segment too, which makes me really happy because I love chatting about my books. But now we are going to head back over to my desk and set up my bullet journal spreads for March. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite parts of the vlog and such a good way to round out the monthly reset. So I will meet you guys back over at my desk. Okay, you guys, let's get started on my bullet journal. Y'all know, if you've been around for a while, y'all know the bullet journal means the world to me. It's my favorite thing. I feel like everything in this video has been my favorite thing, but like I mentioned at the beginning, these videos are my favorite videos to film, so it's just because they're filled with my favorite things. I printed out a bunch of pictures that I want to use in my little March spreads, so we're gonna get started on those. I think for February, I went and did like a little bit of a pink theme in my bullet journal. I mean, how can you not do like pink everything for February? And I thought for a while that I was gonna do colors for each month, but honestly, I'm kind of craving going back to this like browns and greens and creams and neutrals vibe that I did back in January. And I think even though it was fun to do the kind of like over the top pinky theme for February, I think we're gonna return for the present moment. For March, we'll reevaluate in April, but I think for now we are going to go back to this vibe. It also matches. March is going to be green no matter what, so it works out. So I've got my pictures, I've got my bullet journal, I've got my little Tombow brush pens right here, and we're going to go make my March
Just
spreads.
watch me breaking. You're sweet. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you would do anything that I want. So keep us awake till the dawn. Ooh, baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me. I wanna make you sweat on
Okay, you guys, the bullet journal spreads are complete. I am so happy with them. I think they turned out so well. Like I mentioned, I went back to my little neutrals vibe for March, so let me show you guys these spreads up close. I'm so excited. They look so good. Okay, so first up, we just have the little cover page kind of separating March from all the other spreads. Over here, we've got the mini calendar and some plant doodles. And then this side is my favorite. I think it looks so good. I just have March written out, and then a bunch of pictures that I printed, and this little like piece of tape, and this little cutout from a picture. It's like a little basket with, you know, like baguettes and flowers and stuff. And this is just like the cutest little March like cafe, Parisian cafe vibe that I'm going for. Then if we flip the page, we get into my habit trackers and my daily highlight. This is my like gratitude page. Over here we have the 9 daily habits that I track. You can pause and zoom in if you want to see what those are. And then down here I track my monthly obsessions. I think this is just fun to see like what I'm really interested in each month. And then finally, for the last spread, we have my screen time tracker and my sleep tracker. So this is where I track obviously how much time I'm spending on my phone every day. I have it from 1 hour all the way up to 8 hours. I try to stay under 6 hours though. That's been my goal for honestly like probably a year at this point, to keep my daily screen time below 6 hours, but just in case I slip up and I go a little bit further, I do have that space. And then my sleep tracker over here just to see like when I'm usually going to bed and when I'm usually waking up. So this goes from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. and I just draw a line like you know, for each day, starting when I fall asleep and ending when I wake up. And then I have these little plant doodles kind of like sprinkled throughout, and I think it turned out so well. I'm so obsessed with it. Okay, you guys, now that we are all done with setting my intentions and my goals for the month, we've gone over my books, we went over my bullet journal, we cleaned the room, we really are truly just reset for a new month. I truly feel so much better. Like I mentioned earlier, I really do think that March is going to be a great month. I'm going to make it a great month. That is sort of, I think, the one thing that kind of encapsulates my intentions for March this month is whatever it ends up being, hopefully great. It's because I'm going to make it that way, not because I'm going to let anything else influence the way that this month goes. Like always, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching this video and for watching all of my videos and supporting me and my channel. YouTube is something that it just holds such a special place in my heart and in my life, and it just means the absolute world to me. So I really want to make sure that I say thank you to you guys for making it possible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it for me down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to see any more of my college content before I graduate college, which is insane, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those. But that's it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
So let us dance this
Bye,
night
guys.
away.